David Schmeikal wants you to stop doing the things you hate and start making space for creativity. From card decks to personal films, he's designing a life that matters. He's doing it on purpose. This episode of the Rebel Rebel is brought to you by my book, Brand Jitsu. Most brands blend in. They don't mean to, but they do. After 25 years of helping people fix that, I wrote the playbook. It's called Brand Jitsu, Move Your Brand from Meh to Memorable. It'll show you how to shape your story so it hits and sticks. Grab a copy at your favorite bookstore or head to brandjitsu.com. All right, so welcome to the Rebel Rebel. I'm your host, Michael Dargie, and all the way across the world, at least once, I've got my good friend, David Schmeikal. How the hell are you, sir?
Good, man. I was looking forward to jamming on the mics with you. I always enjoy our conversations. And when I looked at the calendar at the beginning of this week, I'm like, oh, I get to have one of those conversations with somebody I admire and respect this week. And that kind of puts a real nice ray of sun on, life and the complexities that is.
Love that. Oh, well, thank you. And thanks for making the time.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So why don't we start here? First of all, where are you in the world? I know, but nobody else knows right now. And we don't need your address, but just general vicinity. And then what are you doing right now in the moment?
Mm-hmm. So I'm out of Calgary, Alberta. Neighbors. We could kind of throw a snowball at each other, I think, if we really tried.
It's true.
And in terms of what I'm doing right now, well, as of today, I've been working to wrap up a project for a client of mine, a creative project for the adventure seekers actually around Alberta and Canada eventually to almost do a choose your own adventure kind of setup by measure of a deck of cards. And it's a really interesting idea concept with a friend of mine. He runs a YouTube channel called Must Do Canada.
Oh, love it.
And so their whole thing is about just letting people know what's available to do and what you can do and what you never considered doing. And I don't do a whole lot of design projects like this anymore. I find that unless they are really interesting, my interest wanes very quickly.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. Having done that for, we're coming on to like 16, 17 years now. It's got to really sing something unique for me to invest in. And this was one of those things. Although I'm at the point now where I just kind of want to get it off my desk. It's like, all right, a little nitpicking stuff. Like, it's just one of those things. So that's what I'm working on right now. Amongst a bunch of other stuff. And we can talk a little bit more about all that stuff too, if you want.
Sure. Yeah. So I love this. I can't wait for that card game to come out. I'm a big fan of, I don't need more things. I need more adventures. I need more experiences. So that hits home for me.
Yeah.
I think that'd be super fun. So make sure I put a link in the show notes to wherever this happens to end up.
Absolutely. Yeah. It'll be sent out to the printers. And of course that'll take a little bit, but they're looking for a March launch of this product. So
outstanding.
I'll be sure to send that over to you.
I can't wait. So, you're, let's call you a creative wonder kind.
Okay.
Let's just say that.
Maybe I'll do a business card with that on there.
I keep threatening to have my business card will be Michael Dargie, LMNOP.
I think you should.
That's all I want. But I don't know. Like I'm fascinated by your journey. I love artists. I like, I love people that, find a life and a world in the arts, as a profession. So I guess, could you take me back in time? Like what happened to poor David along the way that made you this guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There has been a story that I have been carrying around for as long as I've been aware that I am me and the world is the world, and I'm like trying to like navigate and make sense of it. And to various levels of awareness, I would say. I think early days, I didn't really know. I was just running through the motions and just kind of trusting my gut when I think about me as a young child. And then as it goes, you get older and hopefully wiser. Although I like to think we just get older and more set in our ways and in our habits and ways of operating that don't serve us. And we don't know any better, but we keep going because we are hoping that, you know, maybe eventually it'll all work out in the end. And that's one of those narratives that I'm getting very, very clear is not the truth. It's actually not going to go that way. And this belief that I've carried around that the things that I work on aren't really important or worth doing, they're not going to work out, so just don't bother doing them, is one that I'm really looking forward to leaving behind me, because I'm still grappling with this story, this notion of what it means to be successful, quote unquote, or in my case now, reframing it to what does it mean to live a life where I'm actually living and doing the things I want to do. But I keep playing by the rules, these unspoken rules.
Oh.
And I'm 45 now. I'm going to be 46 next month.
Oh, you're just a baby.
Yeah, in some sense, which, you know, means that there's still hope for me yet. And then in other sense, it's like, wow, I'm closer to 50 than I'll ever have been to my 20s. Right. So
it's sobering for sure.
It is. And I've been doing some work, some reflective work. I do a lot of reflective work. And in fact, that's what I want to do more of, to be more in reflection, more in exploring creativity, understanding creativity, our relationship to creativity, and just how important it actually is. And doing more of what I want to do, trusting myself more. So I do a lot of thinking in that space. And we're now in this time of year where we are thinking about 2025, right? The future, and
right.
And the scramble to make sure we've got the perfect plan in place to make sure that we do all the things that we need to do in order to say, yes, we did it at the end of the year, or some nonsense. I don't know. But that's what we tend to do, right? We're in that space, and it's almost like a race that we didn't know we were in, and certainly don't want to be in, but here we are racing, running, and not even sure why we're running. But it's important work, as if we're able to reframe it from a place that is in the service of us and who we are, and what we really are interested in doing more of, as opposed to the things we feel we are obligated to do.
What would you do more of? Like what is that? Would you paint? Do you want to learn a new art skill? Do you want to write? Like what does 2025 hold for you?
Definitely more writing, more telling stories. I actually came across, I've been in her like circle observing what she does. She's based out of Ireland. She's a fascinating person. And she just recently launched a new program, but within the program, there are these films that she uses to help tell the story, contextualize the reason for the work that she's doing and why she's doing it and why it's something worth doing for those that are watching it. But it's from the place of narrating and filming doing a mini film to capture that story, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I want to do more of that.
What's her name?
Megan Mikado. Fascinating person.
Put some links in the show notes.
Yeah, just really fascinating. In fact, some of her work, early work, was what prompted me to dip my toe into this idea of doing a film. Because, you're supposed to be a filmmaker if you do film, right? Like, isn't that how it goes?
Sure.
Yeah, no, it's not how it goes. but that has been like it's just a great example of the many things that stop us from pursuing something because, I'm not that. And I've never done that before. And so I'm not qualified to do that.
Right. Well, I mean, we've got these things look
right?
at all those cameras.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's a filmmaker, really. Everybody
is a filmmaker, and there is things worth filming, I think, is the other thing. And I can't remember, was it last year or the year before? It all kind of blurs together, but I ended up producing a film. Right? It's like a bit of an autobiography of sorts, my journey with creativity as I understand it right now. And I produced it and put it out there. And I didn't think I was going to be able to do that. And what happened was it came together quite quickly. I think from the place of coming up with the idea to writing the script of the story that I wanted to tell and then putting it together, it happened inside of like 2-3 months.
Oh my God.
And then it was just out there. And the intention of that, really was for me to create something that I could share with someone and quickly create a level of relatedness and a knowing of me at the very least on one side, so that we can get into this important work that is connecting with people that we align with and that we appreciate and want to get to know better and struggle to do very well because nobody's taught us how to do that. We're these awkward creatures roaming the world, right? And then that was the intention. And so that's how it happened. And so now I have this thing but there's more. It's not over yet, right? It's just one thing of many.
What's the next story you want to tell?
Well, it lives inside of this relationship. It's the ongoing relationship with creativity, and the importance of like making more space for that in our lives, in our environments. What happens when that happens, when we afford that space and that permission to slow down and have things worth slowing down for, right? To observe and consume and contemplate around. Man, we are walking way too fast through life.
Somebody recently told me that we are human beings, not human doings.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that so much, that we don't spend enough time just being.
Yeah.
We're always too busy doing this and doing that. And I'm certainly guilty of that.
Well, I would almost reframe that a little differently. It's we are humans being and doing. I don't think it's possible that we can't not do something.
Sure.
When I think about, and they truthfully, being and doing, depending on what you're looking at, I mean, they're like one and the same.
Sure.
It's just how intentional we are in the being as we're doing. Right.
Totally.
But when I think about a construct like retirement and the old view that is a thing where you just now slow down and relax and do less, and it does not. It's like oil in the water for me. I'm like, slow down.
Yeah.
No, man, that's like. If that is ever a thing in my future, which I don't really see it being, it is just time and space to do more of what I want.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So doing more of that and having more conversations with others about what that means for them too. I know I'm not the only one who feels like we just don't have permission to do the things we secretly want to do. And we don't have permission to even say those things out loud.
Oh, like what? Give me an example.
Well, I just came out of a workshop a couple weeks ago. A local guy, his name's Alex Ford. And he has a really interesting lens in which he's looking at how we are functioning in life right now. Our tendency is to do a whole bunch of things we don't want to do in the hopes that if we do enough of that, we will be rewarded with the thing we really want. And so whether that is a career we've kind of adopted by society's or family's standards as like a good career, the right career, but we hate it. And we just keep doing it because if I just do this, well, then I'll get what I really want. And that pain and suffering that happens along the way as we are, dragging ourselves through this lie, this belief that this is what we have to do, all the while looking over on the other side going, oh man, if only I had time to do X. And really X is like, well, whatever that is for you, right? For me, it's, it is what I just described. It's painting more walls with murals, right? And just like painting for the sake of painting and collaborating with my wife on that kind of stuff and feeling like we have time and space to be able to do that. Like that's worth doing. And then of course it flips back to the other conversations. Like, yeah, but we got to do the other thing first, the thing that we really don't want to do. And I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to have that conversation anymore. I want to do more of what it is that I really want to do. And the other thing that was really interesting about what Alex kind of reframed is this relationship we have to suffering. And the reality being that if it's a thing that we don't want to do, or it's a thing that we do want to do, suffering and pain live in both. You can't avoid it.
Yeah.
Right? There is growth, there is discomfort, there is uncertainty in the things that we are curious about and want to explore, and or want to improve on, right? Look at fitness as an example. And equally so, there is pain and discomfort in tolerating the thing that we've accepted as our life for as long as we've done it. And so if we can't avoid pain, then why am I investing all of my energy in a thing that I don't want, dealing with the pain of that, when I could just be dealing with the pain over here in what I do want? And when he said that, I'm like, Yeah. Yeah, of course. Like and actually I want that pain. It's a pain that I want because I look forward to what the outcome is, like on the other side of that, as opposed to the thing over there. It's like, oh, we want to avoid that at all costs, right? And so we binge on Netflix, or we, as Alex says, we sedate ourselves to this point of oblivion, and then time goes by, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
If there was one thing that you wish the world knew, what would that be?
Oh, that's such a great question. I want the answer to be right.
It's a big question.
I think about often whether what I'm doing is the right thing to do. And then I go out into the world and I seek validation for that being the right thing to do. And sometimes I find it, sometimes I don't. But even when I find it, I still find myself doubting whether it's the right thing to do. And it's usually because it comes from my reasons for why I'm doing this come from an inauthentic decision. It's always coming back to this story of what I think I need to be doing. But when I am doing the thing and there's this thing that I'm experiencing, and it's like a slowing down of time. It's the sense of like complex problems kind of clicking together. Even though it isn't quite clear yet, like there's this sense of progress, and inside of that progress, there's this measure of fulfillment that comes from it. That intuitive guide that's going, you're on the right path, right? So just keep doing the work, keep playing the game, keep working through the challenges. I would love for more people to just pay more attention to that intuitive experience, which is easily missed, I think, right, in the moment. So to pay attention to that more.
Oh, that's awesome. Great answer. Normally I ask this question about what advice would you give to, people about to embark on their next business adventure, but I'd like to reframe that and be, what advice would you give to somebody who to embark on their first or next creative endeavor? Like maybe they've never done anything like making a movie before.
Yeah. Yeah. I would actually go back a few steps, and I would have that person spend some time to look at what do they want in their life for the next 10 years inside the areas of like our own vitality, our well-being, who we're connected to, right? The people around us, the communities that maybe we've never considered or have always wanted to be a part of, but never really did the work to do that, never pursued it. And then inside of there, like we're exploring the things that we're curious about, right? And now we've got some runway for the next 10 years to start to explore that. We don't give ourselves enough runway. I don't think we think far enough out. And I do this exercise. Now it's an exercise of reviewing it every year and just recalibrating our course. But 2 years ago, my wife and I did this exercise where we began the process of painting the picture, a vivid picture of what we would like our future to look like. And we put dates on it, right? So it was 2022 to 2032. And we put our ages to it. And so it's like 43 to 53.
Damn.
And now it becomes so less abstract as like an unforeseeable future. Like I can see it. So there's like a clarity of the box now that I'm playing inside of that wasn't there before. And then I can look at what is it that I want to do in that time? Like what's important, what's necessary, what are the foundations I need to put in place to enable that 10-year aspirational future to happen, right? Because we've got work to do. Mm-hmm. And if we can't fool ourselves into thinking that if we just think about the thing, it's inevitably it's going to happen. It's not going to happen, right? There's hard work involved to make that happen. And inside of that, creativity flourishes, in my opinion. This is a belief. This is kind of like the hill that I'm standing on with my flag waving going, hey, let's do some work. And then let's dig in and start building and creating from that place.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
It's deep. I knew I was going to get the deepness, man.
I mean, yeah, man, this is also the thing that I want more of. I want to be, because this is where like inspired action comes from, right? We give ourselves permission to explore the things we've never given ourselves permission to explore, or re-enable that in somebody else, and things start to unlock. I had a conversation with a gentleman at the, are you familiar with Next Gen Men, local not-for-profit? They're all around empowering young men about unraveling the patriarchy and, the things that have us be men, or the false positives around that, or the double standards and all the narratives. I mean, it's a complicated arena, right? And there's so many things that you don't even know is going on that are impacting us as men in particular, and how we interact in society. Anyway, so it was their 10-year anniversary, and I went there and I met a gentleman there. He's based out of Seattle. Never knew him before, but there was something about what he said or what I said that just kind of, because the barriers were down, that there's a click, right? And there almost immediately there's a tendency for me, because this is an old habit. It's like, do I stay here or do I network more? Right. And truly the networking more is the thing I don't want to fucking do.
Yeah.
Like that's the last thing I want to do. Cause what if I get caught in a corner with someone I could give two shits about? Right. And now we're doing this pandering bullshit. Yeah. No, thanks. So continue to have the conversation with him, and we go deep, and we go deep quickly. And so much so now that we're talking about, doing some work. And he's invited me out to do, a reflective, retreat kind of exercise out in California in May. And that all came out of a conversation that clicked, right?
Yeah.
If only we would just give ourselves more permission to go deeper with people that we don't know. And I think it's easier with people we don't know, because the baggage, the story, like who I know you to be isn't there with those that we do know. It's harder for sure. But then if we do it with people we don't know, I assert that it gets easier with the people that we do know, because now we're practicing, right? We're playing the game.
Sure. Yeah.
Did that answer your question? I think it answered your question.
Dude. So good. Oh, David, this has been time well spent. I love hanging out with you. We need to do this more.
Yeah, I would be happy to do that. It is a conversation that just begs more depth, because
Right.
it isn't just, there's no bookends to this. Like it's an
ongoing.
Yeah.
We'll get together, if not this year, then in the coming months, and we'll just pick up where we left off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. It's a great idea.
David Schmeikal, where can people find you?
Well, I have a very unique name, so you just have to Google me and you'll find me. I'm all over the place.
Awesome. I'll put links in the show notes. This has been, again, time well spent. Thanks, David.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for the invite.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. Hey, if you're an artist, scientist, entrepreneur, or business owner who wants a smooth and proven method to find, shape, and share your story with the world, head on over to brandjitsu.com and order a copy of my book, Brand Jitsu, Move Your Brand from Meh to Memorable. I've been your host, Michael Dargie, and this has been the RebelRebel podcast. It's a podcast for creative rebels and entrepreneurs all over the world. And hey, if you're a rebel or you know a rebel, head on over to the RebelRebelPodcast.com and fill out the guest request form. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time.